Hi, welcome to Buffzone. I'm Kyle Ringo. This is Brian Howell. We're in Folsom Field today where it's a little rainy and soggy, but hopefully it'll be a better atmosphere, better weather conditions for this weekend's game against Fresno State. The Bulldogs come to town, and the Buffs have to play better this year than they did last year when they got beat 69-14 in Fresno. What are your expectations this week?
Well, I expect it'll be a lot cooler than the 102 degrees it was last year. Should be in the 80s, but I expect a more competitive game this year. I still think Fresno State's a better team and wins this game, but I do expect a more competitive game just from what we've seen from the Buffs the first 2 weeks. They've just looked all around better. I expect that to continue.
Wow. So you're letting your prediction out of the bag right off the bat.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to watch anymore. But.
Well, we just got done with Mike McIntyre's weekly press luncheon and talked to some of the players, Connor Wood, Paul Richardson, about last year's game and what effect it has on this year's team. And both of them sort of downplayed that aspect of things, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Paul didn't play in last year's game, and so maybe for him it's not such a big deal, but I think that game was by far the most embarrassing game of last year.
Right.
And I think this team and some of these players feel like they would like to atone for that performance because it was sloppy. It was not up to the standards of Colorado football by any measure. And I think we saw that the other night after they beat Central Arkansas the other day.
Yeah.
There was at least a few guys on Twitter who mentioned, Fresno being up next, and Parker Orms comes to mind.
Right.
How big of a deal it is to him that Fresno's next. I don't think you can really understate that. There are guys on this team, maybe not Connor Wood, maybe not Paul Richardson, but there definitely are guys on this team who want to go out there and put something better on the scoreboard than 69-14.
Yeah, I was going to mention Parker's tweet from the other night. I talked to Greg Henderson the other day, and he said, "Yeah, this is a big deal." And Greg didn't play in that game last year because he was hurt, but he said it was painful watching that thing, and he said we don't want that to happen again. Nate Bonsu was saying the same thing. I mean, we want to go out and prove that wasn't us. I mean, we're much better than that. And I just think a lot of things happened, kind of snowballed in that game, and obviously we saw throughout the year that happened several times, but I just think that one kind of got away from them. I think it was an unusual type of game in that regard, and I do think that there's a lot of guys on this team that were on the field last year that will come and play harder because of that.
Yeah, I'm expecting a totally different outcome this year. I'm not necessarily ready to go out and predict a win, but I think a lot of things. I think the score can be dramatically different, but a lot of things have to happen for that to occur. The Buffs have to run the ball better. They definitely can't give up big plays in the kicking game. They have Fresno State has an excellent return game, an excellent return man. And if anything, I think if there's going to be big plays in the kicking game, Colorado has to be the team to make them.
Right.
And then obviously Paul Richardson and Connor Wood have to continue on the roll that they've been on to start the season. So if those things happen, I give the Buffs a chance to pull this one out, maybe with some defensive turnovers and stuff. But I think it's a huge challenge, huge step up in competition. And I think Fresno State comes in here and wins a much closer game than 69-14 last year.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing early on. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. I think it could be, both teams in the high 30s to 40s. I think it's going to be very entertaining, but I do see Fresno State winning this one.
All right. Well, then there's a bye week, and then Pac-12 play starts. So we're looking forward to that. Join us again next week, and we'll talk about Oregon State.